Good morning, everybody. It's Brett, your Thankful Carnivore. It's April 22nd, a Wednesday morning, and this is today's Thankful Carnivore Report. I very much appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to me ramble on about things related to the carnivore way of eating and other issues I find interesting. Please check me out across all my social media at thankful.carnivore on Instagram, on Twitter, where the meat eating savages continue to just run wild. It's Stickman Bleeding. That's Stickman Bleedin. Don't add a G. Facebook, YouTube, Thankful Carnivore. Please remember, you can get a 30-minute carnivore coaching session from meatrx.com for under 20 bucks. That's right. You can book me at meatrx.com for a 30-minute carnivore coaching session for under 20 bucks. Check it out, my friends. Listen, today I want to talk to you all about honesty and health. For decades, when I was a miserable, depressed lump of walking flesh, people would ask me, "Hey, how you doing?" "I'm fine." That was my response most of the time. If they caught me on a really bad day, I would tell them just exactly why that particular day was sucking horribly in great detail above and beyond what was socially appropriate. So I was either dishonest by saying I'm fine when I was not anything but fine, or I went way overboard. I want to focus on the honesty side because I think in many cases I didn't invent that. there Everybody I know did that and still does it to this day. The difference now though is the people that I associate with and spend most of my time with really do feel fine. In fact, they feel spectacular. So when they say, "Oh, I'm great, I feel good," they're telling the truth. But most folks, "How you doing?" "I'm fine." "No, you're not. I could see the inflammation. I could see the fat accumulating across your whole body. What's showing up in your arms and in your legs and in your stomach and in your neck and in your face. You're not fine." Now, I used to look like that. I wasn't fine either. The point is, we're not being honest when we say these things. Now, I can appreciate we don't want to dump on, we don't want to dump a load of our crap onto somebody else. That's not appropriate. If you're not fine, maybe say, "I'm breathing," because that's true. That was something else I used to do when I would have a moment of clarity when I was sick. "Oh, I'm breathing. Still breathing." That was the only positive I could come up with on many days back then. Fortunately, all that's changed. But my wife talks about, and she's mentioned it on her Carnivore Cast interview, I believe, and elsewhere, how when she was a carnivore, she was never completely satisfied. She'd make a meal and then everybody would say, "Oh, that was great, honey. Thank you. It was delicious, Mom. Oh, it was good." But she wouldn't hear that. She would already be thinking how she could have improved it or made it different that would have tasted better to her. She was never satisfied that way. And she talks about how, while she was a carnivore, that she always felt like something wasn't quite right. And I think after reflecting upon that for a few weeks here recently, I've just come to the conclusion that when our brains are inflamed, nothing is right. When we're consuming toxins, nothing in our life is quite right. We're not thinking properly. We're not thinking as well as we can. We're not thinking as clearly as we should, that we're capable of. We're operating suboptimally, not at our best. So, the dishonesty about our health is just a part of this gosh awful disease management paradigm that's got so many fallacies to it that it's just It's ridiculous. We've lied to ourselves, and to our friends and our family. Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine. Oh, it's okay. I'm fine. You got a part of your shin poking through your skin. Oh, I'm fine. It's okay. Now, that sounds ridiculously extreme, but think about it. I can look back over the course of my life now without any brain fog, with great clarity of thought, and no mental illness in there in between my ears, screwing around with what I'm really seeing and really hearing. And I would say I was fine when I was in great distress, when I was just horribly sick, unable to process my environment, what my wife would tell me I couldn't hear accurately. And because I never heard and could perceive things that were spoken to me accurately, I always responded poorly. I was incapable on many levels of being honest because I wasn't getting accurate, real environmental info. That lack of honesty, folks, it's not a good thing. How many times have we felt bad? Oh, I'll get over it. I'll just power through this. And we ended up worse off in the long run. Whereas if we'd have just paid attention and recognized to the signals that our body was giving us, we could have nipped a bug real quick, a virus, a cold, whatever was ailing us. We might have been able to deal with it much more appropriately if we'd have just accepted, I have something wrong with me. I need to address it. But for some reason in Western society, it seems like admitting that there was something wrong with us and being completely honest about our health is just frowned upon in many ways. And I think it just goes to show how horribly sick our thinking has become over these years, these decades of inflammation from seed oils and sugar and all that garbage we ate. You feel good? Say you feel good. It'll show up. You can't fake that. If you're feeling poorly, saying you're fine won't fool anybody. Unless they too are brain fog, of course. But you can't really fool me. You can't fool my wife either. Probably can't fool our son in that regard. He's been carnivore long enough. His clarity of thought is vastly improved. Be honest about everything, especially your health. And don't be afraid to communicate the truth about your health, especially to your doctor and to your loved ones, and more importantly, to yourself. It's okay to recognize and acknowledge, there's a problem here. Quick little self case in point. I started having loose stool again here the last couple of weeks. And I deduced that it's a combination of two things. I'm much more efficient at burning fat for energy, my body is. And I was eating too much bacon. And I needed to cut back on the bacon again, which I've had to do in the past. So instead of 8 to 10 slices of bacon with every meal, it's now 5 slices of bacon with every meal. Which means I'll spend less money on bacon. No downside there. And hopefully the remnants of the spare tire will finally go away. I've been doing a lot of intermittent planking. But my point is I had to be honest about it. Loose stool's happening. Okay, I know that this only happens for a certain number of reasons, and the primary reason is I'm eating too much fat. Now, 5 or 6 years ago, that kind of self honesty would have been utterly impossible. Think about it, my friends. Are you being honest about how you really feel? Are you being honest about how your current status of health? Are you really being honest about it? If you are, great. If not, time to make a change is right now. Being honest with yourself will serve you well. It will cause you some discomfort. I'm not going to lie about it, because seeing the flaws in our own being is unpleasant, but it's very educational and I highly recommend it. Get out there, my friends. Have a fantastic day. Eat your meat, drink your water, do all the things you know you need to do to take care of you. And always remember, you've got something to be thankful for. Have a great day, everybody.